Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Desi TV USA. I am Tabinda Gul. Let's take a look at the headlines. Trump administration's plan new travel ban targeting Afghanistan and Pakistan. Trump suspend 25% tariff on Canada and Mexico market react with uncertainty. Second judge blocks Trump administration's freeze on federal funding. House votes to censure Democrat 𝐄𝐍𝐉𝐻 for outbursts during Trump's speech. US job cuts surged 245% in February, highest since July 2020. Europe leaders vow to support Ukraine boost defense after Trump's policy shift. US Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth meets British counterpart John Healey at Pentagon. Mexico President shine bomb and address media after Trump's tariff announcement. Beijing fruit vendors unfazed by US-China tariff, the trade talks remain possible. US butterfly population declined by over 20% since 2000, steady fine. And Stella McCartney Winter 2025 runway show embarrasses feminine power and evening glamour. These are headlines, lead to news detail. Now the top story is here. The Biden administration is reportedly preparing to introduce a new travel ban that could prevent individuals from Afghanistan and Pakistan from entering the United States as early as next week. According to three sources familiar with the matter, the decision is based on a government review assessing security and vetting risks associated with various countries. This potential ban would mark a significant shift in US immigrant policy, further tightening entry requirements for citizens of specific nations. While details remain undisclosed, officials suggest the move align with the administration's broader national security strategy. Critics argue that such a ban could disproportion impact families, students, and professionals with legitimate travel needs. The White House has yet to confirm the specifics of the proposed restriction, but an official announcement is expected soon. President Donald Trump has temporarily suspended the 25% tariff he previously imposed on most goods from Canada and Mexico. Added to uncertainty in global financial market, the exemptions are set to expire on April 2nd, when the administration's plan to implement a new system of reciprocal tariffs on a global scale. The move signals a shift in trade policy, with the White House emphasizing that the temporary suspensions allow for further negotiation. However, business and investors remained worried as the prospect of renewed tariffs could impact supply chain and economic growth. Market analysts warned that the uncertainty surrounding trade policy may lead to volatility in stock market and currency exchanges. Meanwhile, officials from Canada and Mexico have yet to respond to the latest development. A second federal judge has blocked the Trump administration's effort to halt federal funding for programs that do not align with the president's agenda. The ruling issues on Friday condemned the move as an attempt to place the executive branch above Congress, reinforcing concern over the administration's use of executive authority. The decisions deal another legal setback to President Donald Trump's effort to reshape government spending priorities without congressional approval. Critics argue that the funding freeze was politically motivated and targeted programs related to climate change, social services, and education initiatives. Legal experts suggest this ruling strengthened Congressional control over federal funds, setting the stage for further legal battles. The White House has not yet condemned on whether it will appeal the decision. Now, the US House of Representatives voted to censure Democratic Representative 𝐄𝐍𝐉𝐻 after he shouted at President Donald Trump during a speech. A handful of Democrats joined a Republican majority in supporting the measure, signaling bipartisan disapproval of Green's action. The censure of former rebuke comes amid heightening political tension in Congress. Green, a vocal critic of Trump, defending his outbursts as a stand against what he described as the president's decisive rhetoric. However, Republican lawmakers argue that its conduct was inappropriate and disrupted the proceeding. While the censure carries no direct consequences beyond public condemnations, it underscored the deep partisan divide in Washington. Green has not apologized and maintained that his actions were justified. Job cuts in the United States spiked by 245% in February, marking the highest level since July 2020. The surge was primarily driven by past layoffs in the federal government under the Trump administration, according to newly released data. Economics attribute the increase to cost-cutting measures, restructuring efforts, and policy shift within the government agency. While some officials argue the layoffs are necessary for fiscal responsibilities, critics warned of potential economic, including weaker consumer spending and job market instability. The private sector has also seen downsizing, particularly in tech and manufacturing. Analysts will closely monitor March employment data to determine whether this trend continues or stabilizes in the coming month.
You came to this country for a brighter future for you and your loved ones. You've made it this far. Now it's time to become a citizen. With citizenship, you gain the right to vote, access to federal jobs, the ability to keep your family closer, and the freedom to travel with a U.S. passport. These are just a few of the benefits waiting for you when you become eligible. We're here to help you through the process with free resources and personalized guidance. Together, we can make it easier. Get started at becomeacitizentoday.com.
European Union leaders have pledged stronger backing for Ukraine and a significant increase in defense spending following President Donald Trump's reversal of US policies on the conflict. The commitment marked a stark shift in Europe's security stance as concerns grow over Washington's involving approach to global alliances. Trump's recent decisions, including scaling back US commitment to Ukraine, have prompted European nations to take a more proactive role in regional security. Leaders emphasized the need for greater military self-reliance, with some countries already announcing increased defense budget and accelerated arms production. While Europe officials reaffirmed their commitment to supporting Kyiv, uncertainty lingers over how the shifting geopolitical landscape will impact the war and broader transatlantic relations. Further policies announcements are expected in the coming weeks. U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth met with British Defense Secretary John Healey at the Pentagon to discuss security cooperation and share defense priorities. The meeting comes amid growing global tensions and involving military strategies within NATO and allied forces. Officials said the talk focused on strengthening transatlantic defense ties, ongoing support for Ukraine, and countering emerging threats. The two leaders also addressed defense spending commitments and military modernization's efforts. Both sides reaffirmed their commitment to close military collaboration, with further discussion expected in the coming month. A joint statement outlining key agreements from the meeting is anticipated soon. Mexican President Claudia Sheinbaum is set to brief the media following U.S. President Donald Trump's statement that Mexico will not be required to pay tariff on goods covered under the United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement until April 2nd. Trump's announcement temporarily lifts concern over immediate trade disruptions but leaves uncertainty over potential tariff measures after the deadline. Mexican officials are expected to seek clarity on the long-term implications for trade relations. Sheinbaum briefing is likely to address Mexico's positions on the tariff exemptions, ongoing trade negotiation, and potential economic impact. Analysts will be watching for any indications of Mexico's next step ahead of the April 2nd deadline. Now, the fruit vanguard adds a major agriculture wholesale market in Beijing remains confident despite China related tariffs on U.S. goods. While the trade dispute has raised concern in global market, local sellers believe demand will remain stable with alternative suppliers available if needed. Analysts suggest that Beijing's decisions to cap tariff increase below 20% signal on openness to negotiation, leaving room for a potential trade truce. This measure's approach indicates that China may still seek a resolution while maintaining pressures on Washington. As tensions persist, business on both sides are closely watching for signs of renewed talk that could ease economic uncertainty and stabilize global supply chain. The butterfly population in the United States has dropped by more than a fifth since the start of the century, according to new research. Scientists warn that the decline poses a significant threat to ecosystem as butterflies play a crucial role in pollination and maintaining biodiversity. Researchers attribute the population loss to habitat destruction, climate change, and pesticide use. Certain species, including the monarch butterfly, has been particularly hard hit. raising concern about long-term environmental consequences. Conversations are calling for urgent measures to protect butterfly habitats, promote pollinator-friendly farming practices, and reduce pesticide use. Without intervention, experts warn that butterfly number could continue to decline, further disrupting ecosystem and food production. Stella McCartney showcased her Winter 2025 collection in a bold and unconventional setting, drawing her audience to an office building for the runway presentation. The collection features a mix of feminine power suit with low-waisted trousers and broad-shouldered jackets, embodying both sophistication and strength. McCartney's signature sleek, contemporary aesthetic was evident throughout the show with modern takes on classic tailoring. The lineup also including glittering evening wear, adding a touch of glamour to the otherwise sharp, structured design. The collections balance professional elegance with statement-making pieces, highlighting the designer ability to blend power and femininity effortlessly. The show venue and styling reflected a modern approach to fashion, with McCartney continuing to push boundaries while staying true to her vision of sustainability and style. So thank you for watching and thank you for supporting. This is me, Tabanda, signing off. Stay tuned for more news. Desi TV USA, DTV NN, and our OTT platform DTV Flex, where you can access to over 3,000 channels. So stay tuned and stay with us.